Welcome back. Some parents in Singapore say that having children can be delightful, but both partners must shoulder equal responsibility throughout the parenthood journey. If not, it can strain their marital relationships. In part 4 of CNA's week-long series on marriage and parenthood, parents share their challenges with Elsa's Thung amid the country's record-low total fertility rate.
Get a degree, get married, have kids. For some, that used to be the path in life. But young Singaporeans are increasingly putting off marriage, with median age of parents inching up over the last decade. Along with it, the total fertility rate, or TFR. It reached a new low in 2025. The reasons?
When you live in a highly competitive and in an environment which is, of course, has high cost of living, fewer will say that they are ready to become parents. And of course, the demands of what parenting entails has also gone up. And I think that has a way of keeping young couples from starting their parenthood journey.
The higher demands of parenthood also reflects in the choices people make. When faced with a partner who can't pull their weight, they would rather go solo.
So first of all, what I did was I upskill myself and make sure that I'm financially stable before I make the decision. And during that period, my ex-spouse did sound out that we should continue to try and see whether there's a chance to be together. However, I don't see a future in us.
As a single parent, she says flexible work arrangements helped her juggle the demands.
If parenthood continues to carry significant penalties, especially when it comes to the workplace or time or the increase of stress or the sense of uncertainty, then we would need to look at some kind of changes in the structure. So for instance, at workplace cultures, how do we ensure that there is greater flexibility in work arrangements? How do we ensure that childcare accessibility is a lot more clear?
Another mother says parenting will be easier if the couple shares similar values.
Most importantly is this person must be emotionally and mentally there, and he can be there like throughout our ups and downs, not like someone that when he's down then he disappear, just someone who can be there throughout and then face everything together.
She says by staying in a marriage where both are at odds, it will create more unhappiness, and that is unhealthy for the children.
From enrichment classes to quality time, many parents today feel pressure to do more and be more for their children. But meeting those expectations often means juggling competing demands at work and at home. And for many families, raising a child becomes a constant exercise in trade-offs. The day often starts early, around 6 a.m. From getting children ready, to commuting to work, to managing household tasks, the hours add up quickly. And even after a full workday, the responsibilities do not end. For many parents, the challenge is not just raising a child well, it's fitting parenting into the structure of modern working life.
On most days, I feel very overstimulated, because some more at work I'm dealing with a younger age where I mostly touched out, very overstimulated already at work. So when I come back home, right, it's the same thing over again.
In Singapore, children spend an average of 41 hours a week in childcare, among the highest globally. More than a third spend over 50 hours a week, or around 10 hours a day. In comparison, children in the United States typically spend about 25 to 33 hours a week in care. The difference reflects how heavily many Singapore families rely on formal childcare, while both parents remain in the workforce. While many parents say they want to spend more time with their children, career demands often stand in the way. But for some, the choice is different. It means taking a career break to be more present, a trade-off they say is worth it.
I feel so grateful that I get to see this and also be a source of joy to her. It's definitely like a choice that I'm making, where, yes, of course, this might affect my career progression, but at the same time, I think I can't get these years back with them. And I would rather, I guess, put in the work that's needed for me to get my career back on track.
For some families, a strong village can make a crucial difference. Having strong family and social support, as well as an involved co-parent, can help ease the pressures of parenting. Parents say these support systems do not just help, they make parenting logistically possible.
It's nice that my husband also, we delegate the household chores, at night. We'll fold our laundry at night while we're watching our Netflix or stuff like that, just to lessen the laundry or chores over the weekend so that we get to spend more time with the kids during the weekends.
It's definitely very helpful to have a helper because all the household chores are taken care of, and I can focus fully on taking care of my child and all the work that goes into it.
Support systems are often overlooked, yet they are the invisible scaffolding that turns survival into genuine thriving. I think parents can show up calmer, more attuned, and children feel that stability.
In the end, raising a child is not just a personal choice, it's shaped by the support around it. From workplaces to childcare support to family networks, the choices parents make are often constrained by the structures they live within. And for more, we're joined by Dr. Kalpana Vignesa, who is a Senior Research Fellow at the NUS Institute of Policy Studies. Dr. Vignesa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first, you must say you're also a parent yourself, so you'd be able to share from that perspective.
That's right. Always sharing about parenting is sharing both academically and from the heart.
Well, from what Singaporeans are saying and some of the parents we've heard from, a lot of the pressures of raising children today, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that they're facing?
I think the biggest ones, the ones that we have heard many, many times, it's got to do with the financial cost, but really we can break down financial costs more deeply. It's got to do with time in the sense, the difficulties juggling work and family. And it's got to do, I think, also with expectations that parents place on themselves and that society places on parents. And that's why stress in raising children is like the third most, the third highest ranked pressure usually. Yeah.
I want to zoom in to expectations because I think that is quite a key source of concern.
Yep.
Do you think the bigger issue is that, in Singapore, we're not just asking parents to raise children, we're asking them to raise children based on very high standards and expectations that have been set. Do you think that pressure is quite a big deterrent?
Yeah, I think that is a huge obstacle because it's not simply about raising children. It's about raising children in an intensive, competitive environment whilst you have to make sure you're not slipping at work. So it's a kind of a multifaceted issue. And this also interacts with the fact that there is the issue of the fact that for countries with high labour force participation, it's not just about cost. It's not just the cost of like feeding your child, clothing your child, healthcare. It's also the opportunity cost of raising a child. So for the mother who takes 1 year off when her child is born, does she lose out on a promotion? Does her career get kind of stagnated? Yeah. And those also factor into people's choices about parenting. It's not so straightforward. Yeah. As you said, trade-offs earlier.
Yeah. So if we want parenting to be less punishing, where would you start? Is it about the leave? Is it about flexible work arrangements? Or is it also a bit about care and the support you get?
Okay, I think Singapore has actually done pretty well in terms of the most important thing, which is the childcare front. So I think that we have already made some steps in that regard. And I do know that parents definitely hope that, there is no quality gap between public and private providers. But and we can also kind of do a little bit more in terms of better coverage. So is there like ad hoc support? Can you drop your child off for 2 hours on a Saturday while you go and run your errands? That kind of thing. So and the child minding pilot is a step in that direction. So I feel like we're doing okay on that front. Leave is very important, and I have written extensively about that. But I actually think that the culture of flexibility and autonomy is a better starting place.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about that then, the flexible work arrangements, right? It's often presented as kind of a solution that will help couples with children or those who are thinking of having them. But in practice, what does that look like? What kind of flexible work will be useful for parents?
So I want to share that, NUS researchers published in 2024 research that showed that fertility intentions of young unmarried Singaporeans are most positively impacted by reduced working hours for men. And all three types of flexibility for women, namely reduced hours, flexibility in schedules, and flexibility in location. And the gender differences can be attributed to the fact that mothers bear a disproportionate share of childcare and domestic duties. And so giving them the flexibility, they use it in all ways to basically take better control of their work environment. And when they feel like they're in more control, they feel like I can have more children. Fathers, on the other hand, previous research indicates that they tend, when they have a more flexibility, they tend to use it for performance enhancement because they are socially incentivized to do that. So that is why we hypothesize, that is why reduced working hours works for fathers. Because if you put more effort into performance enhancement, you're actually working longer hours, right? So if the father can actually reduce their hours, then their fertility intentions. So I think, in practice, valuable types of flex are reduced or more manageable hours and control over your time. So this is, really, it's not just about the permission to work at home. It's about when I can do what and how do I juggle that with the schedule conflicts of raising a family, because anyone who's raising a family knows that you've got an entire family schedule, to manage.
But to use time well, you have to have time to begin with. So let's talk a bit about parental leave. What do you think will make the biggest difference when it comes to leave? Is it the duration? Is it whether fathers or mothers take it, or maybe even workplace support?
Okay. So on this question, right, I think all those things are actually mutually reinforcing levers. And we don't really have the luxury of doing them one by one. I think that, the more weeks the government provides, the more the culture shifts in terms of the importance of parental leave. When that importance is emphasized, the culture shifts in terms of flexibly supporting them. When workplace is more forthcoming, the culture shifts, fathers will take more leave because the research shows that. And then that, of course, supports the mother, supports the marriage. So it's really, culture is the thing that matters most. It's the most difficult to shift. So to me, I think you have to push on all the levers together.
Interesting. Dr. Vignesa, thank you so much for sharing your research with us. I've been chatting with Dr. Kalpana Vignesa, who is a Senior Research Fellow at the NUS Institute of Policy Studies.